All right. Sorry about that. I'm back. I'm leaving up the first part of my stream since I did get some good information in there before my router began giving me trouble. Welcome, Chris. Having issues with my router. Oh, I shouldn't say my router, with my computer. It's a 2008 Mac Pro. As many upgrades that I have done to it myself, it still fights with the newest router I have. It's not fast enough for it, so it hangs at times. But there are upgrades coming. Looks like I always seem to get calls when I get on the live. 1 second. Not a problem. Not a problem. Just getting some information. So back to what I was talking about. These sound patches that are on this model keyboard for its age. It's the 2008 version of the Yamaha S70XS, but I've not even scratched the surface of all the sounds that are available on this keyboard, especially when you're using it in an actual church setting. It was designed, I believe, for studio work or live stage settings. So there's no built-in sequencer per se. There is one which allows you to record uh, the audio sounds of it directly into a USB stick or into its internal memory, and then you can play that back. It has a lot of outputs, I should say. I can actually have, I believe, 4 outputs coming out of it with all the tremendous inputs, not just an actual, uh, what do you call it, a sustain pedal, but I do have an extra pedal which allows me to have different settings for switching patches. So do I get to use all of them? No. I've probably, as I say, I use this primarily for creating my own music lessons, number one, studio tracks, if I do get a job like that, number two, where it gives me the ability to use all these different sounds. Here's a ragtime piano. Let me see. Oh, how am I able to record? There is a audio record. This is where it's at. You're getting a good, let's see. I should be able to do this from this camera. Let's see if I can bring it in. A little too much. Back it up a little bit. All right, it's not going to go too much closer than this without getting too far out of the way. Okay, you have an audio record button here that you press. Here in the display it says record or play, which means if you would have recorded something, you really can't see that clear. You press enter for record. It says internal, which is where I'm going to be sending it because I don't have a USB plugged into it. Press enter to record, and let's just record something. It's recording right now. Let's go to A flat, stay where I am. Press enter to stop. Save audio file, yes. It's saved as a WAV file. And now I'm going to play that file. So it's saved now as a WAV file. It'll be there until it is actually deleted. Um, this model, I believe, I haven't used it yet, comes with an input for a microphone, so you can actually record an actual voice singing. So if you had a singer that you couldn't take with you on a project or on a production, you can have them sing into it, and then you can actually play behind that singing. Of course, exit to come out of everything. Again, so many tremendous features on this board that is not really that I don't use it. I would have loved this one if it had an actual 16-track sequencer in it, but it doesn't. Although there is an actual demo file that actually does play some tremendous recordings that are in there. But if I was connected to, like I am connected to my home computer through a USB, I can send 16 tracks into a audio program and have all those tracks selected here and have the very tones that are here played back through the keyboard or played into it. You know, you can always loop and send signals through whatever way you pick. I think if I was using the Cubase software, it'll send the actual sounds of this into the Cubase software. But I currently use Pro Tools, but I still have the free versions that came with it back in 2008. Tacky sound. Again, these are just the actual piano patches. I can't see where I would need a tacky sound unless I'm doing an actual, maybe a soundtrack for somebody, where it requires this kind of a sound. Whoa. Looks like I'm losing my lighting here. Tacky sound. Next, house piano. Which may be like an actual, you know, spinet sound. Ballad key, which I do love the way the ballad key sounds. Which is like that layered sound, and it does say layered, so you get that additional tone in there with it. Remembering a song from years ago. '80s layered. Let's see. I know a lot of, welcome back, Mario. A lot of musicians are into that layered sound that gives them that double sound of an actual keyboard that helps to make them sound fatter when they play. And really just need to add more chords. This is the 80s layered, which I think is like probably the DX7 sound. Chris, right now, this is the 80s layered piano. Oh no, this is the S70. Mario, when you have the desire to play, either you'll learn it from sheet music or you'll learn it what they call by ear, by hearing someone else play. Mainly, I would say 99% of what I play is what I've heard someone else do. And I sit down to the piano, well, again, with a knowledge of scales, how to work around a keyboard. Because there's so many keys here, is to know what notes not to play to get a particular sound. Chris, I'm using the 80s layered sound, so this is stock. This is not me going in, layering it, and then setting the different slider drawbars to match this sound. So I'm using the actual stock sound. Again, there's so many beautiful sounds on this keyboard that are really not used. And again, this video is helping me to show some of these sounds and sort of give me an idea that I should take advantage when I do my productions of just not always using the piano sound, but use some of these layered sounds to help bring out a lot of the beautiful tones this keyboard has. Nice, real rich tones. Somebody needs to unplug his keyboard. Oh. When you love music and you start playing it and you got a good instrument underneath you to do that, I mean, you can just go to any song and start to just let it rip. so many tones. Mario, I have several videos here on YouTube which give instruction. But if you want to do personal lessons, I do Skype, and I recently started doing Zoom lessons. I had my first Zoom lesson yesterday with 2 students in California, both in their homes. I was able to do a lesson with them, trying to encourage them to strengthen their resolve. Oh, Richard, I was going to get to that. This has a tremendous organ patches that I use when I'm doing my own productions. Well, no, Richard, Chris, I'm still in the 80s layered sound. I guess I would have to break into the sound to see which pianos they're using. Let's see, what's number 16? Is the ballad stacked? Do I use the NK station? No, I use Pro Tools, but in Pro Tools, I will use the sounds from this keyboard in my Pro Tools. I won't use their stock sounds because they're just not full enough for me. Because I use Pro Tools 11, I think it is, or 10, which is 64-bit. A lot of my sounds that I purchased in the past are 32-bit. They just will not work with it. And I don't want to go down in software just to get some old patches that I had. I'll use the sounds that are here. I am going to upgrade my computer to a much faster one so that I can get purchase the better VST soundtracks. Did I miss anything? Any advice on learning all keys? I'm good with scales and play mostly 3 keys. Just need help with the chords mostly. T-Pocket, if you email me at, let me just put this here, I can send you a workbook I used to use that has all the chords you hear me playing and more. Just typing in my Gmail address. Email me and I will gladly send that to you. Email me at that location and I will send you my workbook that I created back in 2009 that in the rear section of it has every chord you see me playing in there. Now, a disclaimer will be every chord I use is in different keys. So if I'm in the key of C and I'm going to change a chord that's in another key, it won't be in the key of C anymore. It'll be in the key of that, whatever the root key is. But you will find 100% of the chords I play are in that reference chart. So just email me, and I've forwarded probably 20 or 25 other people that same information when they ask about chords. As I say, when you watch my videos, I'll show you what chord, and I'll even hold my hand purposely just so you can go and see how that chord is formed, and if I'm playing a song, how I'm using it in that song. Now, because I'm primarily gospel, there's not too many pop songs that I play. Not that I can't play them, I just don't have a reason to play them. But it's not that I won't find a reason to play them in the future. Let's see, we're in the ballad stack. All right, and I think that's the end. 16 piano patches on the Yamaha. Now we're back to the natural grand. Let me see, what's a piano sound? All right. Now, you had mentioned something about, oh, Ricky, the organ patches. The organ patches are, I'm just going to bypass keys. Organ patches are tremendous. And that's just one of, I can't count how many there are. That's the 16/8, 5 1/3 patch with a percussion. Of course, you get the Leslie, depending upon, you can't see me changing one of my touch wheels, but that's how you control the Leslie. Oh no, T-Pocket, the book is completely free of charge. I created it back in 2008, 2009, and I didn't charge for it then because I don't have the online course anymore that I used to do back, what, for 19 straight years. I still kept the files. I said I would share them with anyone who had a question about chords. So I have no problem sharing it freely of charge. All right, that's one patch. That's the jazz patch. And I'm not a jazz musician, so a lot of these patches don't affect what I actually do. Let's see, slow jam. Unfortunately, they don't give you a way to use the drawbars to adjust the sound, so you basically search through for what you want to hear. These are all the different sounds: crunchy, glass, clean, all bars, rotary for vibrato, vibrate for chorus, Solomon. Now, I'm really a Hammond B3 organist. But because I can't fit one here in my basement, I'll use anything that sounds like an organ to sound like an organ player. Praise him. Let's see, let's change to what I like to use, drawbar control. again, I'm not on a real Hammond organ, so I don't have my foot pedals underneath me. But again, a lot of tremendous organ patches that are on here. A walking bass. It's even making my house rumble with the speakers I have. I got one speaker on it, and it's starting to rumble down here. So yes, you can. Some of these patches really emulate the sound that you could get from an organ, be a B3. Or yeah, you could. I've never did that because an organ has 9 drawbars. That's your layering sounds right there. Would I mix strings with an organ? You probably could, but to me it'd be fighting, because an organ has such a natural sound. It's like mixing a piano and an organ sound together. They don't sound correct because they're just a little off from each other. A lot of jazz settings here. Did I miss anyone? Make sure. My hope is building nothing less with an EP sound. Okay, let me come out of here. The EP sound, again, some of these sounds are really made for specific needs. This is a vintage Rhodes, I believe, or keys. And you see, you get that sound. I wouldn't use this for my hope was building a church. That's the Vintage 74. The R&B soft. This is when you would probably layer these sounds with a grand piano sound. With a straight piano sound. Let's pick one that had the piano and choir. Ooh, hit that by mistake. Chris, I'm using I have buttons here, or I can go into the patch and then select the either up or down through the patch. It gives me like if I were to go this way and I go into piano patch, I can see all the different patches that there are for the piano. Actually, there was some I missed. This is called Journey, Old Blues. Had to hit the change in my head. CP 1979. CP 2007. Some of these patches is taking me out of my normal hearing range. Honky tonk. Oh, you're calling up a lot of history on me. I probably use that rock piano sound for call them up. Let's see. Honky tonk was the last on the list. Yeah, honky tonk was the last one. General MIDI sound. Let's see. There was a rock back. No, not that one. Let me come out of this. Go into here. There was a rock piano. Oh, brighter than that. There it is. There it is. A long time. Woo! I haven't played that song in so long. Do I use loops or stems? No, T-Pocket, I am strictly a musician's musician. I learned the song for the instrument that I'm playing. If I'm playing on an organ, I'll learn the organ part. For playing a piano, I'll play the piano part. If I'm doing strings or horns, that's the part I learn. And if it's just me by myself with a keyboard sound, I try to emulate as much as I can from the patches that a keyboard such as this would give me. Let's see if I missed any questions. Oh, again, the buttons there. You have an actual scroll bar. You have a up and down bar, depending on what you're looking at, where you can just scroll through. This let me see, increment, decrement that goes back and forth, or you can go to the actual numbers if you know where they are. And of course, you've got the display, which you really can't see too clear with the camera setting I'm using. That gives you access to all the different particular sounds. We didn't cover strings. Now, I see this a lot. A lot of musicians refuse to play strings unless they're putting it with a piano. And let's go with natural piano. We'll go to layered, which automatically comes up with its own default string settings. you have the ability to go in. There we go. And adjust the strength of whatever layer string you're using. Let me see what song I use. So a song like this one, In the Sanctuary. Now again, this is their setting for strings, which they call the PW Simple. I like in the string family here, which again there's several of them. I like using the medium hall. No, not medium hall. Medium section. That is the layered natural piano with the medium section string. Now, because this piano has so many sounds, I normally wouldn't use the regular piano. Let me just get out of this. I would generally go to the full grand, which is a very full sounding. And if I was going to layer now, I'm going to go into, I'm not going to take their stock, but I would find something that's going to give me a full section, small section. So now I've got a small section, which I can adjust. Let's see, what song can I put with this one? Trying to see what's that song I want to put with this one. A little bit too strong. This section is not quick pulse, aggressive, long section. The song makes the difference of what string you're going to use. Some guys will just use whatever they feel comfortable with. For me, I have to find one that is going to total praise. I cut out the piano, just give strings. all done with the Yamaha S70XS. You can emulate any sounds that you possibly want. Yeah, piano. This is using the actual layered sound, so I have control over how strong and which strings I want to use in the layered setting. Okay, well, what did I not cover? Because there's so much more that is a part of this keyboard. Guitar, goodness. Gotta go to guitar. Got to go to guitar. Let's come out of here. If you don't have a guitar player, but you have a song that starts off with a guitar, and that's what I was trying to find, the Waymaker song. I know it's an E maker, in G, Waymaker. The touch to do a guitar feel. So the ability of this keyboard to emulate instrument sounds. Gotta remember that I'm in a guitar mode. So it's strum up, strum down. Excuse me. You can set any kind of mood in any kind of service And I mean by the any kind of service. Sometimes we were locked into being in the actual Pentecostal setting, 100 um, grand piano, the full grand. That's always been my, when I play this keyboard, that's my go-to sound. My practice sound is the natural grand, but my playing sound is the full grand because I was raised partially on a Steinway, so I know that sound that I like to hear in both sides of my head when I got both speakers on. But I'll emulate these other sounds just because it's a good practice session for me. What can I do from a guitar standpoint? Trying to think of all the guitar songs that I hear. No, this is my father's house. Got to get that fingering down because a guitar has only 6 strings. So if you're playing 20 strings on it, well, you do have guitars that have more strings, but to get that real sound, you can't be overly layering all your chords. It's got to hit that melody on top. Again, dozens of different guitar sounds. I've never played on a Kurzweil T-Pocket, but I would assume that the piano sounds are all the same. It's just a matter of how they tweak it. Some will tweak it higher, some will tweak it lower. Where was I? Oh, Chris, are you in performance mode? No, I'm in voice mode. If I were to go into performance mode, that's where all the fun is. We talk about performance mode. That's where all the fun is there. Trying to find one that won't go too crazy. No. Performance mode has again, these are all stock sounds, but it's all done by the keyboard. Mega Steel. In performance mode. Again, if you're doing a track and you need this sound, this is what it has. You gotta time it. You gotta time it though. That's Mega Steel. Semi-Finale is one of my favorites because it's all the instruments in one place. All of your symphony instruments. but you have to have a orchestral background to be able to take advantage of a track like that. Yeah, it's kind of multicultural. So now this is the arpeggio setting in the performance mode. Now, would I use that in something if I had some track I was doing that required that type of sound? Then again, this is a workstation keyboard also, so you would use this in particular sound productions. I've never touched every sound on this keyboard because I haven't had a reason to. 300, would you play that gospel so that you could say, oh, the 3/4 hour man? I always played that straight. If I had to change it to a gospel sound, I could, depending upon, again, the spirit of the church. This performance track is called Chillin' Keys. I'm making this up as I go. Just picking keys. I can change the beat. As I say, a lot of these pre-programmed sounds, I'll use some for if I'm doing a live setting. I have the Yamaha MX-06, which is a baby version of this, has some of the same sounds in it. I'll use some of those performance mode sounds if I'm doing something with someone, especially if I'm doing something with a steel pan. I'll go to an actual Latin beat that I use there. But from a standard format where you're going to be using this in your local church or part of the church setting within a group of people, you can sound like 5 musicians with the correct setting and with that song. Now, we've never covered the actual drum patch. Let's go to natural band. There is a drum patch. And here you get, again, several drums. I like to pick the new hip hop kit 2 because I like the sound of it. I like to adjust the volume of the drum so that it's not too overpowering. Basic crash. I know by heart where all these, because I've used them so many times. So I may use this with working on your rhythm. So it is a uniquely positioned instrument where you can have pre-programmed performance mode sounds for whatever setting you happen to find yourself in. You can set up the drum. The drums they are changeable. Let me just come out of this. I was using the new hip hop sound. It doesn't give you many changeable ones in there, but when you're in, get back the voice, when you select the other drum layers, which I like to use from time to time, I think the drive standard hit, there we go. Call them up again. What's this beat good with? Trying to remember, what is this beat good with? Which song this beat is good with? It's a Timothy Wright song. B flat. It's a Timothy Wright song. Justin. He was saying offering song. Trust Him song. What was that song? Faster. Rest of my life. So much, turn that off, so much you can do with this keyboard, and I've been on an hour and 4 minutes, and I've basically scratched the surface of the abilities of this board has. Yes, I know Yamaha and all the other board makers are coming out with boards seemingly every 6 months. Oh, Chris, the drum patterns, there is a button that says, well, under the Performance Creator, where you have layered sounds or split sounds, where if you want to split the keyboard to have bass on one side and piano. Next to this drummer sign, no matter what, let me just come out of this, no matter what keyboard sound you're in, you can go into drummer sign. It'll bring up drum, percussion, and then there they have pre-programmed sounds. There's power standard. This is my power standard kit. This is my gospel sound. Let me see. these sounds are there, and once you go through each of them, you find what patterns are pre-programmed. You can't change the patterns. You can't change the speed. The speeds, there is no tempo control. That which is the one thing if there's a pet peeve I have, the only way to control tempo is to tap it into it, so you pretty much set it. If I go back to that drum pattern, let me see. Go back to that pattern. I messed it up. Oh, here we go. That same drum pattern. There's no knob I can turn to speed that up. What they give you is a tap tempo control where you basically press shift and you tap the tempo you want. Now you can see the tempo range in the display. So you pretty much got to gauge what do you want to do, how fast you want it to go. Style. One, two, three, four, five. It should be back now. Every now and then, because the mixer I have is also 11 years old, but it's a good mixer when I purchased it. It does at times hang up on me. If I'm not paying attention to it, then I've got to look over to it and see that the lights are not flashing. Go and do a quick power on reset, POR, and things come back. Sorry about that. As I say, I'm going to be upgrading a lot of my equipment this year. I'm looking at the new Mac M. Well, I'm divided between the Mac Mini and getting the 14-inch Mac MacBook Pro is going to look like, because I need to get current with my equipment. The Yamaha still is a tremendous piano. No issues with it ever. Just change my thing. No issues with it ever. But my other equipment is old. My Mac Pro is old. It's 2008, so it's 12 years old. And my mixer is 2009, so it's 11 years old. Still functioning. But anytime you upgrade hardware, you have to one part of your hardware, which is computer, you've got to upgrade the other hardware, which is the audio stuff, because they never let it be compatible. But it still works. It just has hiccups like it did at that time. Well, again, I thank those that are coming in. I try to keep up with everybody. Jamaican Kid, okay, Strong G, and Pocket T, a T Pocket out. Once I see you in my, let me pull up my Gmail now to see if I got you in there, and I can send that to you. Because chords are one of the hardest things to learn by ear. I learned a lot of them by ear, but when I got a booklet in front of me and I saw what I was struggling with by ear, Chord explained to me as a chord how to form that chord. It became a lot easier to, oh, there you go. It can make a lot easier to hear it correctly, number one, and then make modifications on it. Just sending you that, I've got you here in my email now, so I'm going to reply to you. Of course, you are free to share anything that I share with you. There is no problem there. It's information that, okay, slow internet. That's why I've got to upgrade this system too. I've got the fastest internet you can get with Fios, but the system just can't keep up with it. It hangs. It's freezing on me right now. Here we go. Yeah, I'm going to upgrade this stuff. Let's see, where did I keep it? Just finding where I saved those documents so I can send it to you. Here we go. We'll send workbook 2. And then there is another one called workbook, because they both have two different set of chords in them. One has every chord in every key, and one has two-hand chords in every key. There it is. As I say, I taught a course on the internet for 19 years, and I tried to provide as much information free as possible, because I wanted musicians not to get as good as me, but to get as good as they possibly can. And hopefully that I was able to get some of them started before they migrated on to other sites, but that's okay. They went there prepared, I believe, versus going there raw and not knowing what a chord was and how to form it and how to play it. Okay, and they're on their way to you. Let me come back to the page. Play some jazz chords. Jazz chords are a offshoot of just an open chord and how you apply it to a particular melody. I know there are some tremendous jazz artists that I'm looking at and actually learning from on YouTube. They are showing me why I play certain chords in certain places in a song. Many terminology that in a jazz format that I've never heard of, but when I see them use it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what they talk about, a tritone. And I used to practice this for years. Just so I can hear. Let you see what I'm doing. They talk about tritones, and I've done this for years, just as a practice session, not using them in any song until I hear them using the song. Then I go, oh, that's what they're using. in the wrong key. Different song in the wrong key. Yeah, it was A flat. God is. I was thinking of a James Hall song that's in F, G flat, F sharp. That's why I was trying to figure out why am I not finding the right chords in the right place. No, well, it's not necessarily jazz artists, but it's about jazz songs. Oh, how much for this? It was $2,200 when I purchased it back in 2009. I'm sure if you do an internet search, it should be still available. In fact, let me just do that for you because I've got my internet here. Let's see what a Yamaha S70XS. Let's see who's still selling it with all these companies going out of business. I'm doing a search now to see what the price is. Used $1,200, but let's see if anybody's. Again, it's 11 years old. I'm looking at B&H Photo because that's usually who I go to for. No longer available. Like I say, it's an old brand. I'm sure they're not making anything new. It's been replaced. I'll put it like that. But if you could find one, I'm looking to see who else is still might be making them available. Usually, I hate to say go to eBay, but we'll search there and see what someone on eBay may be selling one for. $2,600 used. That's how much it was brand new. Well, it's held its value. I'm looking at eBay and they want $2,600 for a pre-owned one, and that's the lowest price that eBay shows. Let me come back to the stream. So yeah, I guess if you can find somebody that has upgraded and they're no longer using it, you can maybe get them to part with it for a minimal fee. Again, I've had this 11 years with this board. Every time a year passes and I look and I see all the newer boards coming out, I look at myself and I go, why would I want to upgrade from a board that has never given me a stitch of trouble? I have a Chord Chrome which has 88 keys, which I use also in some of my productions because the Chord Chrome has a 16 track sequencer on it, so I'm able to do some other things that I can't do with this on there. But I had trouble with that one. I actually had to take it apart after going onto YouTube to hear why was I dropping sounds, and I was able to take it apart and replace a 4 megabyte SIM memory card with a 10 megabyte card, and it sounds a lot better with a much larger card in there. But I had to work on it. But this one, again, I've used this exclusively. That's one of the performance patches. I've used this one exclusively for years, and again, I can honestly say I've never had an issue with it. No sound dropout, no resets. Always turns on when I'm ready to use it, and it will last. If I go all day with it, I've not had a single problem with it. Again, that's the 80s layered patch, which is, stock layer. Let's see if I can layer in some strings with this since it's already layered. Yes, I can. Let's look for a Nice patch to put with this. Viola, quart. I want larger. Medium section. Medium hall. So I've just layered the piano stack patch with a medium hall strings. So many different things that you can do when you have a good keyboard to work with. Oh, there's a guy who does a course. Let me just go back to my page. I've got to go to my YouTube page to find him. He does live courses. Of course, he has his own website, but he does the free courses online, and I've been getting immersely excited about learning. I'm just going to pull up my history. Wow, this internet is just dragging on this computer. It's like it's begging me, get rid of me. I've had enough. All right. I'll tell you who he is in a second. Open Studio is his name. He teaches jazz. Wait, is this him? I did subscribe to him. Yes, I believe it is Open Studio. Just looking at some of his videos here. No, it's not Open Studio. This is not the guy. This is another guy I'm looking at. Or maybe it is. Okay, yeah, music tutorials. The right way to practice pentatonics. Okay, he brings in other people also. Let me just look at my history. My history will tell me when the last time I looked at him. Again, I have no problem sending you to good places where you can get some good instruction. I watch a lot of things on the internet, so I gotta scroll down in my history to see. That's just on his page recently too, so it shouldn't be that far back. Now, am I pushing you towards jazz? No, pushing you towards music. Anybody that teaches music correctly to where you get a yeah, I guess it is Open Studio. That was the last time I was on his page. Yeah, Open Studio. He was doing. He does a lot of different approaches to learning jazz. You learn the name of the chords. He'll teach you the jazz structure of the song with the chords, and he'll practice along with you. Of course, he's not doing what I'm doing right now, showing you the entire keyboard, but on my lessons, I try to give you scales, melody, chording from a gospel standpoint. He does it purely from a jazz standpoint, and I find that I'm learning still. Mic sounds low. Am I losing it again? Maybe the mic is slipping. Let me change the position of my microphone. How's that sound? Because I'm looking at my readout and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like where it should be, so it's not screeching. That sound better for the microphone? I moved it up closer. How's it sound now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing. Oh, okay. I may have had my head bowed while I was looking up something on the internet. Welcome, Charles. A little better, but still low. Okay. Let me do a little tweak here. All right, I tweaked up the audio in the mixer. Just back off on the piano a little bit. That should be a little more powerful without getting too high, getting feedback. But yeah, the sounds of this keyboard are tremendous. And because this keyboard, it's a fully weighted keyboard. When you do an actual piano sound, you feel like you're playing on the piano, which is good for oh, thanks you, J Kid. I'm not sure, J American Kid. Thank you. I try to vary my content, especially now that I'm full time. As I'm now retired and I don't have to go to work, I can now spend more time changing my content to meet your needs at just about any given hour of the day or night, depending upon what comes to mind. So this is the first time that I've actually done something with the Yamaha keyboard. Because you hear me play all the time. You hear me play it all the time, and this is the setting that you normally get, but you never really see the other effects that this keyboard has. I try not to limit myself just to the sound of gospel, but just to any sound, as you heard earlier, the organ, the guitar. There's a drum patch on here also. Again, this is a all-encompassing instrument. This is a drum patch. I'm trying to also learn how to become a keyboard drummer. It is I learn all the ones that I use, so when I'm in production and there's no patch that I can find that I'm comfortable with, I will sit and try to work out what I want to do. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There is a science to being able to do all these. Because I've watched the videos of the guys who teach it, and I go, you know what? I play a piano a lot, but to do this drum thing, love the bell sound. Of course, the yeah. Trying to get that. So yes, I take advantage of the abilities that this keyboard gives me. Am I going to become a beat maker? It's in a hold pattern now. I watch other beat makers and I go, gee, those guys can sit there and create a beat from their head using the different modules, not necessarily from the keyboard, but the different modules. And I question how come they don't use the sounds that to me is a more better, cleaner sound that an actual keyboard gives you. So there is a part of me that says, you know, one day I may look at who knows? Anything in this world today is possible if you believe in yourself and what you're trying to do. Brass sounds. I love the trumpets. Love the brass, love the trumpet sounds, love the muted trumpet. Having a background as a French horn player, I understand how the sounds of it go. So there are the unlimited amount of production that can be done with this keyboard. You're not just limited, again, to just a piano or the organ patch. So I'm going to be, as time goes, creating full orchestral sounds, and I'll be sharing how I'm using all these instruments here to do that. Trumpet section. section I like? Brass. There's well, strings we did. Saxophones. See if I can do this. Going to record a sax section and then play behind it with a piano. Let's see, record. Let's go to record. What song do I want to do? Hold to His Hand. And let's put it in the key of F. Again, there is no metronome, so it's going to be done like kind of live. 2, 3, 4. I'm beating my foot. 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and breathe. Stop. So now I've just recorded, save it, audio file 2, press enter to play. Let me change my voice. Come out. Let's change my voice to give it a nice, which piano sound do I want? Let's get out of here. Get out of here. I want to pick a nice piano sound to put with that. Okay, there's natural grand. Nope. Try to pick a nice piano sound to put with it. Ballad. Rock piano. Okay, so I got rock piano selected. Go back into play internal, select the wave, and play the wave file that I just recorded. Hold to His hand. yes, the keyboard does give you the ability to record, pre-record a track using the actual voicing that's in here. Again, the memory in the keyboard is limited, but you can attach a USB um, stick and record as much audio as you possibly can, depending upon what size you want to use. So you could create an entire what's it called? Uh, pieces of music using the same sounds, and take it on the road with you and be your own band. As I say, this does not give me the ability to do separate tracks because it's kind of like a workstation where you're going to work off of software. But if I were to take my keyboard, not keyboard, my laptop with me and use the Cubase software, which allows you to save the exact sounds from this keyboard in the software, then it becomes a tremendous performance instrument, which is what it was designed for, doing an actual performance. All right, I think I've been on here a lot longer than I expected to. We had some technical problems in the first video, which I'm leaving up anyway, because at least most of that got through. I thank you, Charles. I'm going to make sure I call everybody correctly. Jamaican Kid, T Pocket. I sent you that software. Um, who else came in? Don't you acknowledge you, Strong G. If you're still here, thanks for coming in, spending some time. Chris Ward, thank you for your participation. S. Piper, thank you for coming in. Want to acknowledge those. Let me come live here. I don't want to leave out anybody because I do appreciate when you do come in and spend time with me and allow me to share with you. So I'm just looking at those who came in. And Mario, thank you for coming in and participating. Ricky, King Big Shot, thank you. Yeah, I believe I've caught everybody. I just went through the chat. So any questions you may have about keyboard, about layering sounds on your particular keyboard, or you need to bring up your keyboard, I can do searches on the internet to see how you can become a better musician by having a better sounding keyboard. That's why I'm here. That's my job right now, is to assist and to help musicians become better at what they do. Again, thank you. Mask up. Be safe out there. And I'll be seeing you again. Be blessed, everyone. Take care. Bye.